James Hamilton for MMA UK, joined via Skype by Lewis Monarch. Thanks very much for coming on and chatting with me, Lewis.
No bother, mate. Thanks for having us.
So the reason we've got you on for a chat today is you've got a fight coming up. That's Cage Warriors 106 on the 29th of June, and that's against Morgan Charriere. So just less than 2 weeks out from the fight now. Just talk us through a wee bit about how preparations have been going for this one.
It's been really good, mate. I would say it's the best. It's the best I've felt, and everyone does say that every fight, and I've said it before, but this is honestly the best I've felt. I've been training at TFT in Sunderland under Andrew Fisher. I train obviously every day there. I've got people like Perry, the Predator Goodwin. You've probably heard of him. He's like, yeah. I train with him day in, day out. Ryan Scope, Jack Dickinson, Cal Pacino, Eleanor. That's the people I get to train with day in, day out. But this camp, I've been trying to spoil people from other gyms as well. I've had some good rounds with Chris Bungard from up your way. Had some tough rounds, good rounds with him. He's a strong guy. I've just been to AVT in Leeds. Got some sparring with Mark Dyer Casey, quality sparring. Jack Grant, who's fighting for the title in the weight with me. I've been getting some great training in. I'm feeling really good. Yeah,
sometimes I forget how strong the team is you have down there. Just when you run through some of the names, you just forget about the level of talent down at the gym. How good is that for you that you've got guys straight off the bat, like Ryan Scope, extremely talented fighter. You get to get in there and test yourself day in, day out.
It's amazing, mate. I didn't realise how lucky I was. Like Fisher, obviously the level Fisher fights at and how skilled like he is. Like that's the first gym I went to. Like the odds of turning up to a gym and like ending up being with guys like that. It's very slim, really, isn't it? Like, and I've started to realise the more I've trained at other gyms with really good fighters, how good the people I train with at home are, and it's good. I think that's what's made me like the fighter I am, to be honest.
And the other thing as well, as you were saying there, obviously, and I know you had been training with Chris Bungard, I know Chris well, and a few other guys. Is it good to get that different experience when you're training with guys like that? You don't know their tendencies, you don't know their weaknesses or strengths. So is that an advantage for you?
That's it, mate. I like training with people, even though the guys I train with are really unbelievable fighters and strong and they're really good. You sort of train with them all the time and you train to be able to beat your training partners, if you know what I mean. But then getting guys from other gyms, not only is it different looks, it's you get a little bit nervous. Like even though Chris he's a lovely guy and so is Jack Grant's a lovely guy. They're all lovely people. Like most people in MMA are nice people. But you do get a little bit different nerves when you train with people from different gyms, and it's more realistic for the day of the fight. It's a bit more like them type of feelings.
Is there a part of the nerves as well? This is something that's always intrigued me, because I guess it's almost like when you're training with a guy from another gym, you want to make sure you show up well for your gym as well. Is there part of that involved in the nerves?
Yeah, 100%. Like I don't want anyone from another gym thinking they've come down and like kicked my ass. You know what I mean? Like even though I've got sparring, and it's different to a fight anyway, you still want to put on a good account of yourself. Do you know what I mean? And that's them feel the same. Them are coming into your gym or you're going into their gym. Them don't want you beating them up in front of their friends and their team. Do you know what I mean? So I think it gives you that extra like thing in spawn, makes it a bit more, makes you go for it a little bit more.
Yeah, and before we move on to actually talk about the fight you've got coming up, let's go back a wee bit. I want to talk to you about your last fight. It was back in October. I believe you fought in the featherweight tournament against current champion Dean Truman. You've obviously had a lot of time to digest that fight. Looking back in that fight, can you give me your thoughts on it? I'm assuming you've seen the fight back now.
Yeah, I've watched the fight back a few times. It's frustrating to watch. I felt in there as if I couldn't get going, and I think that was a lot to do with Dean being quite awkward. Like I feel like he's very good and he's very like strong fighter, but he does a lot of unorthodox stuff, and I think it was just making me watch him instead of doing my own thing. And I got caught watching him a bit, and I think that was the story of the fight. He was doing his thing, and I was just watching him do his thing.
Yeah, is it almost with a guy like Dean, like you say, he's quite unorthodox, and he's a pretty hard guy to read as well. As the part of that play, and you just weren't picking up on him, and you just couldn't pull the trigger yourself.
Yeah. I feel that's exactly what it is. I weren't pulling the trigger, and it was good on his part because of his unorthodox. Like he's just some of the stuff he does. I was like, I would say it wasn't really like he wasn't catching us with too much. I would say what he was doing, but he was keeping us guessing, which is good. It is good, but I should have just been firing. And, instead of watching him, basically, it was frustrating.
Does that almost end when you've got those sort of feelings about the fight? Does that almost spur you on and think, I really want to get in there and have another crack with Dean and see what I can do?
100%. I would love to fight him again. Yeah, he's fighting Mads next, and I was scheduled to fight Mads, but I got injured. That's why I've had such a long time off in between. So obviously, if they were going to give me Mads, they obviously still got me in the mix if they've given Mads that shot. And obviously Morgan's just fought Soren back, and I think that was a competitive fight. So I think a good win will put us straight back in that mix, and I hope Dean does win, and I hope I do get the fight. He's a good lad. I've spoken to him. He's a nice kid, and I do wish him the best. But I want that. I do want that win back.
Yeah, and I think with the division, it got a bit. I don't know. I'll get your thoughts on this. It got a bit weird in the division with obviously Soren back vacating at lightweight to come down to get the interim featherweight belt to then vacate that to go back to lightweight. It seemed all a bit of a mess. What did you think when you were seeing all that unfolding?
I think he wanted to go down that route of the double champ, but I just think the weight's too much for him. I think he must. He's quite short, I think, but he must carry a lot of muscle, and I just think he mustn't have liked the weight cut. And I don't. That fight, did he fight at a catch weight, or was it at 145?
No, it was 145, obviously against Morgan, who you're going to be fighting.
Morgan missed weight though. I think that's what happened. But it was a tough fight for him. He might have thought he was going to come down to the featherweight division and the strength would carry, but he might have not felt that strong. He might have got a shock at the 145 division, and or he might have literally just not performed as well as he thought with the weight cut, and it might have affected him. He might feel better at lightweight, but it was a funny little period. Like.
Yeah, it was quite weird, and we've seen that quite a lot with fighters. I mean, sometimes cutting the weight to get the size advantage, but you deplete yourself so much getting in there. I'll just ask you about what it's like for you in terms of you cutting weight and making it. What's your process like, and is it relatively easy for you?
I wouldn't say it's easy. I don't think it's ever easy, but I think my frame is suited to 145. I've got like this. It's been a lot easier the last couple of fights. I've got Fuel Prep on board. It's a local food prep company in Sunderland. Yeah. And it's just so much easier not having to like just make my own decisions. When I open that fridge in my house, I've got a sweet drawer. There's just so many little things I can have, you know what I mean? But with them, I've got that all done for us. And I get my weight down quite well as long as I stick to that. And the weight cut's never nice, but I don't cut too much. A lot of these like Russians and stuff cut a lot ridiculous weight, but I cut a sensible amount of weight.
And through your weight cut, I'm assuming you're dieting leading up to the fight, and then are you water loading and shedding water to the end?
So I diet. I think like Fuel Prep started us off on about 2,500 calories, and I train quite hard. My weight drops well, and then the last couple of weeks I dropped to about 2,000 or just under, and my weight comes down nicely. And then from the week before, I'm water loading, and then I'm in the hot bath, which is never nice, but it's part of the sport. If I just dieted down to 145, I'd be a stone lighter than my opponent on the day, really. So
yeah, it's just about getting the balance right.
Getting the balance, yeah, definitely.
You've said there the sweet draw, something I'm obviously no stranger to. But how often are you dipping into that sweet drawer when you've not got a fight on?
Every day when I'm going to fight, but it's tempting. Like I've got a sweet drawer and a crisp butter crisps as well.
Yeah. Both tempting. But the other thing, when I was looking over your career and your record, the one thing through you've had some losses, but the one thing you've got is you've not been finished in those losses in your pro career. Is that something when you look back? It's never great to obviously looking back at your losses, but that must be one thing you look back at and it spurs you on a bit that guys aren't able to finish you, and you're giving guys tough fights even when you are losing the decision.
Yeah, it's still it. I do like take pride in not losing by submission or any stoppage or anything like that. But the win's what you want. I would never take pride in a loss. No, I want to be in exciting fights. That does spur us on as well. But losing a fight's never good, no matter what happens. To be honest,
absolutely.
But, I have had some fights where I've lost and they were close, but I want the finish as well. Do you know what I mean? I think most fighters do, because but the win's the most important thing, and I haven't got them in the close fights, so it's still bitter.
Is there a balance here then? Because obviously we've seen through just using the UFC as an example, sometimes guys are winning, but they're not necessarily exciting. Nearest example would be Elias Theodora, on a good win streak, lost one fight, cut. But then exciting guys who are losing quite a few fights manage to get kept round. Do you need to find that balance between making sure you get the win and still entertaining and make people want to watch you fight?
100%, yeah. The feeling of winning is like, obviously that's what you train for, and all the sacrifices you put in. I would rather win exciting, but if I had to be a little bit boring to win the fight, I would, but it's just not really in us. Like, I get impatient. Some people, when they're holding people down, and I couldn't do that. Like, I would have to start trying to land strikes, and that's what gives the opponent space as well. But the finish is just what you look for in fights. I would never want to be known as a boring fighter, and but the win is the most important. It is getting that balance, as you say, definitely.
Is that something your head coach works with you, Andrew Fisher, that maybe sometimes it's better to not take the gamble to finish a fight because the risk may be too high? Is that something you work on in the gym?
He does work on percentages. Like, he always wants you to do the right thing. Like, but the style he coaches is an exciting style anyway. He wants you in the right position before you start unloading strikes and stuff. But if you follow his game plans and stuff, you'd be in exciting fights anyway. But the balance would just be swayed in your favour if you could stick to his game plans and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's definitely something that's really noticeable with guys that are coming out of that gym, and you're watching the fights. They're not boring fights. Some really exciting finishes. Cal Eleanor's finish against Nathan Grayson was brilliant. I loved that. And
Ryan's for that fight,
and Ryan Scope obviously it's difficult a fight you could probably take in your debut in Bellator, and I think a lot of people thought he won that fight. I don't know what you thought.
I thought he won it. What did you think? I thought he got 2 rounds to win it. I think he lost I think it was the first round he lost. Clearly, when it was a good round, but he clearly lost that round. Did he get dropped in that round?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. But see, I had 2 thoughts on the fight. When I first watched it live, I didn't think Ryan had won. I thought he'd lost the fight. I watched the fight then back on TV, obviously no background noise, nothing like that. And that changed my mind. I actually then thought Ryan won the fight. So live watching it, I had one point of view, and then watching it back on TV, I had a different one. But it's as difficult a debut as you can make in the promotion.
I thought he won the fight. I thought it was a really good fight to watch, though, and I think it should have put him in good stead for future fights. I think it's probably helped his reputation and stuff, but obviously people looking at the record, it's still down as a loss, which is frustrating, especially when I thought he won.
Yeah, it's helped him even more by what Patricky's went on and done, and just his history as well. Just to come back to you for a minute now, obviously you're fighting Morgan Charriere. I may have messed his name up. I apologise if I have. Give me your thoughts on Morgan and what you know about him.
What I've seen of him, he looks like a very strong, fit fighter. He went 5 rounds with Soren back, and I think he won the last 2 rounds, if I'm not mistaken. It was a tough fight. And other fights I've seen, he seems to like going for leg locks, which has been fun working on. But I love my grappling, and I feel comfortable in all the positions anyway. But he does seem quite explosive at getting to the legs and stuff. Yeah. And he seems like a good fighter. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the challenge.
Do you think this is a fight that could, like you say, you're feeling as good as you feel? I know it's a wee bit of a cliche, a lot of guys say it, but I would assume that you mean it and you feel it. Do you feel this is potentially a fight where you can show truly what you can do in there? This is a showcase for you.
I think he's a good dance partner, as people would say. Like, and I think he'll bring out the best in me. I think it's going to be a good fight, and I think it's going to show the best me at the best of my ability as well. And I think it's going to get Cage Warriors talking. One good fight can just change your career. To be like, people forget about the losses if you put on a good performance, and that's what I love about the sport as well. It helps motivate you, knowing that a good performance is going to bring us straight back.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking over this fight, I don't think I definitely used too much here. I don't think it's a fight that's going to be boring. I think it's going to be one of a really fun fight to watch. And as you say, this isn't like boxing or that, where losses can really hurt you. MMA, it is all about your next fight. And the way Cage Warriors works and the way the division is, you must feel a really good performance to win this one. And you're right back in and potentially fighting for the belt soon.
100%. I think the fact it's on the same card as the title fights as well helps, like, sell the fight. People, I think it's like a good. I think it's perfect, to be honest, being on the same card as them. People can watch me put on a good performance, and then it'll get people talking to fight the winner of those two. I think that'll help that them are on the same night.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as cards go, there's probably not a better card this year than the Cage Warriors promotion to be on. So many title fights, it's going to get a lot of eyeballs on it. So you to be on that card, obviously, like you say, a good performance and victory can only help you going forward in your career. And you're still pretty young. You've got a lot of fight to go. Going forward, obviously, the Cage Warriors belt is one thing. I would assume that, as with a lot of guys in Cage Warriors, one of the things that has to be in your back of mind is these 3 letters, UFC. Is that something you think about? I know you've got teammates over at Bellator, or have you got a direction you would like your career to go in?
I would love to fight on either of those. I've fought on Bellator before, but it's not so much the shows I would like to fight on. It's more the fighters I would love to fight. Some of the top fighters who you've watched over the years, I would love to be in there with them. That's like a dream, to fight like someone who you've watched over the years. Do you know what I mean?
Who's if you can think of the UFC roster, there's maybe some guys in there that have been fighting at featherweight a long time. Is there one guy that you maybe watched growing up or coming up that's still active that you would really love to share the cage with, or the octagon rather?
I can't think off the top of my head. Like I used to love watching BJ Penn. Someone like that. Obviously, I wouldn't want to fight him now. I feel like he's a bit old, and I think he should retire. He didn't retire after his last one, did he?
No, unfortunately, still going, and I think we're talking like seven losses in the bounce. It's just, unfortunately, with everyone, and you can't fight Father Time no matter what you do. You can't fight Father Time. Yeah, there would obviously be some really cool matchups, and we've seen guys transitioning from Cage Warriors to the UFC and doing really well. Nathaniel Wood springs to mind. So I think the level between Cage Warriors and the UFC, there isn't a difference really in terms of entry level at UFC. So I would assume that's probably the ideal dream, is to get in the UFC and do well in there.
Oh, that would be definitely a dream of mine. Yeah, it's just something. It's like when people who play football, they watch the Premier League the whole life, and that's the dream, to play in the Premier League. And that sort of is the Premier League, really, isn't it? I think Bellator as well is a great one, but I'm happy at Cage Warriors for the minute, and getting that title, I think, could lead to open doors to both of those organisations.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be quite nice if the wages in the Premier League, that's what it was like in MMA. Unfortunately, we're not quite there yet. It's tough going for everybody. Well, listen, I won't take up too much more of your Sunday night. Thanks very much for coming on, Lewis, and obviously all the best in your next fight. I'll be tuning in and watching that one. I'll be looking forward to it.
Thanks very much, James. Thanks for having us.
No problem, mate. We'll catch up with you again soon.
Nice one, mate. Thank you.
Thank you.